Hello and welcome to the Aftershow for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Silence with Shadows Zolly and Camille team up episode.
I love it. I think there was another episode in season 1 where Zach and Ollie, I think it was the first time you guys were alone, but I was like, oh, this is actually kind of awesome. Like the first scene you guys had alone.
Zach and Ollie team up well.
Not how I thought it was going to go, but it actually went really well.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the dynamics and how much they've changed in season 2 compared to season 1.
How long does it take you to set up your makeup?
I don't do my makeup. My wife actually does it for me.
Oh, it always looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks
great.
It's sick.
Actually, I don't think I'm going to do the eyes anymore, just because they start hurting after 2 hours.
Contacts,
I think it just makes more sense that Ollie would probably get some brown eye contacts anyway.
Yeah, I mean that could work just fine.
But it's generally like 30 minutes. I sit for 30 minutes and I get so still that I oftentimes almost fall asleep. So,
damn,
it's nice. It's only like
that sounds great.
Yeah, it's only like once she'll be like, "Hey, you're fucking dozing off. Stop it. I need you to look right. Like look at me. I don't care if your eyes are open. Just look straight ahead. Okay, you got it. I won't move."
Nice.
So, did everybody enjoy the episode?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Solid investigating. Solid, like, letting people just rock it and trusting everyone to do the jobs and doing it well.
Yeah. We were talking about earlier, which we probably should have waited till after show, how, like,
the parking
Camille
counter
has had 3 larceny for, like, all of season 1, and I've never used it before. And then apparently he was like, yeah, I had to look at your sheet because I had to, like, when we were doing the transfer, he was just making sure I transferred it all right. Yeah. And he noticed that. He was like, what? I
knew going into that situation with the door, I remembered that you had vaguely like an 8 dice pool or something dumb. I can't remember how many it was. And I was like, I know my dice pool is 3, but in character, I have no idea. So of course I'm going to try and open the door and then ask Ollie.
That's how it works every time.
If I recall, you were able to, right? In season 1, you were at least able to pick at least 1 lock, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I have 3 dice, so if you rouse the blood, you're getting 2 on average, and 2 is enough to bust most simple doors.
And then if you can't open it, Ollie can just break it.
Yep,
and
like,
I was like,
usually goes.
I was like, no, let me do it. But I think from Camille's standpoint, like, she's so used to, like, other people doing stuff, and then she only does it, she only steps in when, like, she needs to, or competency is not there, or, you know, like, whatever.
I imagine she also, like, enjoys occasionally doing the slumming it, like going back and doing the jobs on the ground level, and actually enjoys that as well.
That's why she joined you all, right? Like, she's like, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, it's cute. It's fun to do, and it's not going to take that much. And genuinely, like, Cammy walked in with this, was like, oh, we've got this, and she just literally walked away without ever having to lift a finger, and had it right in his grasp, which was wonderful.
Yeah, whereas like you were saying beforehand, if like Ollie had gone up, it would have been.
It would have depended.
Zach.
Yeah, it depends on how you would have worded it. The thing is, Cammy's manipulation plus persuasion is an insanely high number. So, and like I said, because she was able to disperse the other 2, he would have been way more confident in himself and way more combative if he had the muscle behind him that he believed he had. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kids are always kind of get full of themselves if they think they have the numbers. But because Cammy was so quick, it was just like, go. He was left alone. And
guys will square up to other guys as well.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, posture. Yeah, I definitely thought there might be some fighting that happened. And it would have lasted long enough where the other 3 would have shown up.
People would have shown up.
Would have eventually showed up. And that was going to be the grand encounter if it went combative. However, it went the other direction, which leads for a more interesting cliffhanger to deal with when we get back. But yeah, this session I was excited for Cammy, and I was very excited to do the opening scene with Cammy because I knew it was going to be, when I wrote out my notes for how I wanted the opening scene to go, I wanted it to be quote unquote subdued, subtle, but bring an air of power along with it. Yeah. That was the point, because you know, every first session with each character I want to show where they are in 10 years. And while Cammy was important in season 1, her importance skyrocketed over the course of season 1 to season 2 when she got promoted to council. So to be able to talk to a Ventrue council member who to you 2 is over your heads, but to her is technically below her, is a fun way to kind of show the contrast of like Jackson
I really enjoyed
her
going into the scenes with that and just being like, Cammy calls the shots, I'm gonna just sit here, and because it meant that like we didn't get blamed if things go wrong as badly because we have Cammy, so I know that we can be much more hands off, and secondly, it's so fun to just see Cammy just be like, yeah.
Flex. Let her flex. You guys never got an opportunity to flex in season 1. All of you. Like, you never really had an opportunity to flex your prowess and your muscles beyond brute forcing stuff and cleaning up your messes. The only ones who really got to flex their status was Cammy a little bit, but she still had to deal with, when she was working with you, it was always chaos because you were all always chaos. And then Saito, on the other hand, yeah, you were just like, all right, fucking
at
goddamn
one point, you all fucking Dakota broke like every piece of furniture in the hallway.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Saito doesn't really get to flex because he's an anarch dealing with people who are on a Camarilla umbrella, so he doesn't really get a chance. He can get a chance to flex all that much.
I thought so his episode where he, where you guys like went back with like the just around the corner characters, like you went that like into that scene, that world with Saito was really cool. And I thought like what Saito did there and like how he left. End, I was like that was a power move and like so cool. And it just shows where like he's headed into a weird territory, so I'm excited to hear.
I'm really excited to have Saito on as well because especially
him and I need
Saito,
to have a sit down conversation before he shows up, because we did like between all of us, oddly enough, while I think I had the most conversation with all of you, Saito, me and Josh went back and have pages of just notes back and forth, just what he's done, what he's attempted, and where he's at. He's in he put himself willingly in a very dangerous situation that comes with a lot of potential power. He doesn't fuck it up along the way. But Saito's weakness is constantly clamoring for power. So we'll see.
See, that's the thing. What I think is funny is that Saito has always Saito and Camille are like really good friends. They've known each other for centuries. And from their perspective, like together they're like a power couple, right? But like he has always been wanting power and he'll kind of do whatever he wants to get it. Whereas Camila's not. She doesn't really care about the power, but she knows that she needs it in order to make the right things happen. And so like it's a very interesting power dynamic. But I also love that everyone whenever the Diablerie happened, they were just like, what's happening?
Oh, that was such a good twist in season 1. When I was writing up your debrief the other night and then wrapping up last night, I actually had a whole paragraph I deleted because I wrote a whole paragraph about how maybe Camille is eyeing the princedom, and I'm like, but then I remember Camille never wanted. She always, at least you told me Camille never really had her eye on the throne. So like, wait, no, that makes sense. Let's get rid of that completely. Maybe in the future, maybe her aspirations will change. Yeah, I mean, but right now, with how he's running,
I think
this is fun.
If it depends on what happens with the council, right? Like whatever's going on with the court and all of that stuff, and like if decisions get made that are really like Camille really doesn't agree with, that could change the way that
I can see the problem also being in like another 20-30 years, if you don't start having machinations on the princedom, the other Ventru below you are going to be like, come on, we need to be taking this princedom back, and our lead,
or they might be making their own machinations to snatch it from themselves.
But normally you make the machination from the Primogen Council, right? Like you can do outside, but most people go up the ladder directly, so they'll start to backstab her for the power, or they'll think she's working against her, which puts her in dangerous position.
And I think that's why you're getting, you saw a little bit of what was happening with her and Mr. Jackson is that, like she is trying to solidify that relationship and that friendship with them, because she knows that he's probably going to try to vie for something like that because he's that type of person. And she knows that like it's not. Yeah.
Well, out of the council as well, he's the only one you actually get along with in any sort of way, because he's a much more personable kindred than the other two Ventru. He's still a Ventru and he still fucking has a stick up his asshole, but he does openly try to connect with the youth, as it were, to the best of his ability.
The other two wonders about what he's doing with that as well. So
well, if you have things you want to poke and prod, you just got to let me know what you're looking to learn and we can work that out. But for those on the Patreon who are watching this, I don't know if they have access to, I don't know what the tier is, my bad, but the little rundown I gave for Cammy, as we said, is on the Patreon right now. But if you want a little bit of an eye in that whole thing, it gives you a nice peek as to what the Ventru Council's been up to, what some of their machinations are, and what they've been trying to do politically in Chicago that only Cammy would know. So only her eyes have that, and patronize, of course. Bub and he have,
and she aligns with the Ventru too, so she's still like trying to help them and wants to help them achieve.
Yeah, you're not like, you don't hate your clan or anything like that. The clan just looks at you with suspicious eyes because of you're kind of like Bella's go-to. Like she appointed you, there was no vote. It was just you are on the Primogen Council now, which is not how the Venture have done it in the past. Usually they come to a vote, and
you helped her overthrow the Venture lead.
Yep.
Who was going to win? So you're that semi-quizzling status of like.
Yeah,
but they can't do anything to touch you right now.
Camille also favors your coterie so much because you also helped her get to that point. You know, like maybe you guys don't put two and two together necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
I know Zach does, but
I mean, what I find interesting about this episode was when Isaac said, "Oh, I already told there's other people. I didn't want anything to do with it." I'm like, okay. I don't think it was the Brujah, because otherwise he wouldn't still be sneaking around as much and he'd probably given something away. So it's either the Anarchs or something else that's gone on here. Thinking Anarchs.
Something has happened.
also just want to say, Ollie being a fucking ninja. First of all, Ollie being able to scout was super helpful because we like kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into each time. The thought about the mailboxes, solid.
Very smart. I did not think anybody was gonna fucking.
And I love
upstairs.
that you get into the car and all of a sudden you're like there, and the guy's like, "What the?"
I thought you were gonna go to the teacher at some point and be like, "Okay, where's this other boy live?" And then she gives you the same address, and you were gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I was a 14-year-old boy once. 14-year-old boys are not smart. They're not.
No, not at all.
All of my best friends were the
mine
closest
too.
Kids.
Yeah,
they
walked.
They were so close.
Yep, mine too.
Within maybe a 5-minute bike ride away at absolute most.
See,
from
I
like
grew
when I
up in
was
the
a
country,
kid to
so.
Oh, really? So like when I was a kid, my best friends, one of them lived downstairs, and then the others all lived within 3 blocks. I could always just walk or bike to every single one of them. So all your friends always go to the same school and always live really close.
That's right.
People
that you get on the bus with.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
same
totally
bus
did
stop.
not twig that until you mentioned, "Oh, I'm gonna go outside and have a look upstairs or whatever." I was like, "Oh, fuck, it's that simple."
Plus, the one time that I was at Chicago, like because the housings are so packed together, they do communal mailboxes everywhere.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a good way to find out right away if they're either going to put a number on there, which we could easily investigate, or they're going to put a name because the postman's going to have to put the mail up.
Yep.
I was gonna look for like a laptop or an iPad or something. A child's one. The kid's one's probably not going to be secure. Just open it up, go Facebook, look for Isaac Evans, and be like, right, okay, let's look at the chat history. Let's look at pictures. But
the only thing I wasn't sure I wanted to do was actually open up by giving Cammy one of the 3. I really couldn't think of a good way otherwise to like get her in. I was like,
I liked it.
She would have feelers out. It would make sense. Like it all fits. It all makes sense. And I was just like, I don't want to feel like I'm doing a gimme, but
I honestly think that was like you sort of taking it easy on us. Not that you wanted to or you needed to, but you utilized it as a storytelling device. And I was like,
exactly. I was like, all right,
if he's
I'll
got
do it like
one,
that.
This is going to be a fucking cinch.
Also, it left Cammy with a decision because
yes. Well, that was the point.
Oh, you can do whatever. I'm gonna step away and I won't know. I'm like, bitch, you know.
Yeah, I knew if I was gonna
walk out of here, you're gonna know you left this kid with me. Like, don't play me like this.
But the thought was, how can I, if I'm gonna take this away, how can I still create something out of it? And I was like, all right, let's give Cammy a decision to make, a power play of her own if she wants to make it, and see what happens. But yeah, I was trying to figure out a good way to get Cammy in, and I think that was the best way, and it worked out nicely. And I was happy about it. And it also means that this episode we were going to tie up the Thin Blood plot line and open up to some bigger stuff. I didn't want that to drag.
Maybe I perceived this a little wryly, and I may have just misperceived this, but was Cammy sort of just hamming it up with a kid to get him on board, or were you like soft spotting for this kid?
She has a soft spot, I think, for if you haven't noticed in all of the episodes, one of my convictions has to do with like death and life, and I think
one of mine's kids.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with specifically kids, but it is. Yeah, and I think that's why you see her kind of like always doing that. It says it's basically
only unworthy.
Kill only the unworthy. So it's like, from her perspective, she can understand that there are rules in place, but she also knows that Bella has a soft spot for kids. And so by, presenting Bella with the opportunity to make that decision.
Well, it's off your hands. You didn't make it.
And also being able to, she still has some sway with Bella. So she's like, hey, we could use these kids to get more information or learn about them, or like learn what their powers can be, things like that. Like it can benefit us, but then it also won't kill this kid who clearly doesn't really understand what happened to him. You know what I mean?
He is so gonna get tortured.
Yeah.
Also,
versus getting tortured necessarily.
He's definitely getting tortured.
It might not be that valuable, but I immediately see this as like, Ollie plays nice. When I go in front of the prince, Ollie plays nice with everyone. Like, look, we just helped Camille acquire this child that you will inevitably kill, but we did it because we're good guys-ish.
Yeah.
Like, we play by the rules. I didn't 10 years ago, but we play by the rules.
You all have a learning phase, all right?
Which is actually a good point. Do we take any stains?
No.
Okay.
I know you blasted the head out of a woman in a caitiff, but
yeah, that was
in Zach's mind, me and mine. This is a big protection move. Moreover, it's political self-defense in a lot of ways, and it wasn't immortal per se. It was a kindred. So you're not like killing an innocent in such a way. I did debate, like I looked up the rules of stains while we were having that conversation, but it just felt sort of pointless.
On top of that,
I debated spending willpower on that roll when you lied to me, but I also was like, Cammy wouldn't because she trusts Zach.
I mean, Zach
and you have a humanity
really
5 as well.
Yeah. So. Zach didn't really massively lie. The only thing he did is emphasize one thing more. And when Ollie left, he confided in you that the reason was that he didn't want her to be tortured. So, like, that was the main reason.
You also gave her one, like, gleaming hope of shining light before you did it.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, it was a look at the flowers moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very telling of the humanity that Zach had, or is at least willing to have. Yeah.
I could see this entire episode being like an actual TV show. Like this entire episode.
Yeah, it was good.
It was very like TV show-esque, like from scene to scene. Like I loved it.
That's your Game of Thrones moment where you're like, yeah, no, everything's gonna be fun. Bang.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I loved the opening. Yeah, I genuinely loved the whole. Like it was low stakes in a lot of ways, but it was high political stakes instead, and it really allowed. And it was nice to see Cammy rejoin the coterie.
And then I leave and chaos ensues.
You leave with your package in tow. Yeah, who knows?
I want to know.
Who knows?
Who does Ollie and who does Zach think those women are?
Oh, well, it's one of two people in my mind. It's either Anarchs or it's Lupine. And those are my thoughts.
There is a third option there too, just so you know.
It's either Anarch affiliated or it's some sort of new wave affiliated to like Thin Bloods or the new generation.
Thin Bloods do get branded with the crescent moon.
I also thought that it might have potentially been some Inquisition.
Possible. With a symbol you don't recognize.
Yeah, Ollie doesn't know a lot about it, and they've been hunting.
It literally
could be anybody. Ollie's sitting there on the bench next, or standing there like invisible during all of this.
And here's the fun thing. I'm gonna be like, it's okay. I got Ollie back up. The episode rolls around, no Ollie there. Okay, Ollie, you go fuck it. Oh fuck.
Well, my intentions, if he hadn't cam shot, was to start moving in her direction and be like, run. And then
running is still an option. She points to you, you see the mark. You could easily have whispered run, and then we open with Zach getting up and fucking running, and a chase ensues, and there are rules for chases, so that's entirely possible.
I just need to get out of line of sight, and then I just pop invisibility. And then I just have to hope they don't have specs.
Is Zach a runner? Like, is that a thing?
No.
Zach's the hider.
I feel like Zach's not a runner.
No, Zach needs to break line of sight and then hide.
Bob's like, he is now.
Yeah, no shit. I have to say my favorite moments was probably the flirting in the hallway. And it's like, oh Christ, just go inside.
The eye roll you did was so good.
Yeah. I said this off camera, but the reason that I got the ability the ritual to increase humanity was when I realized that after 10 years of Zach and Cammy, and I was like, wait, I'm humanity 5. I can't have sex. Like, I can fake it, but that's not really every time I'm faking a relationship with someone for 10 years. No, let's find a way to do this. And I went and I found the old ritual and VTM ported it back. I was like, the specific reason was actually just to have sex with Cammy.
I feel like...
God damn it.
Yeah.
Thirsty vampires.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Sorry, go ahead, Maggie.
And I said their relationship is interesting as well because like that's one of her convictions as well is like never deny true love.
I also liked the fact that he was like, because there's two of you, I want 2 boons. And I was like, I'm free. I'm fucking free.
Yeah, he can't see you. He doesn't know you're there the whole time. He's
I was
like,
dude.
I was also like, that's not happening.
No, it's like, oh, hey, I'm doing a boon for your entire coterie. I want 4 boons.
He's a fucking Bruja. He's gonna try.
Yeah.
Dude. There's no harm. You're not gonna kill him. It's not against the law to ask for 2 boons.
Dude, you're making yourself look bad.
He's a Bruja. They already look bad.
I'm happy I managed to have the conversation on the bench at the end, though. Like,
I'm
me too.
I liked
the
conversation at the end. Sorry, go ahead.
Bruja are incredibly rebellious.
Hmm.
They're very, very rebellious. They don't like to follow the law. The fact that they follow Camarilla law in Redemption, which is not canon anymore. They were no longer part of the Camarilla, actually.
Really?
But they are now. But yeah, they're very rebellious, which is why they kind of like left alone for the most part.
Is it their one of the important Bruja dudes is an Anak now, right? One of the important Anak dudes is like, I can't remember, is it their representative on the what's it called? The dude who goes around and judges people.
Are you talking about Anarch people?
No, he turned Anak. It's one of the Bruja. I think like.
You're talking about the sheriff?
No.
Sheriff.
No, like in the lore as a whole, one of the important Bruja people turned Anak. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can't think off the top of my head. I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't know much about Bruja because it hasn't come up very often.
Yeah, Bruja are
I think I had someone play one before in a game that I had, but I can't remember all the details about.
Yeah. In 5e? In 5e, Maggie?
No, we were playing something else.
Oh, okay, older edition.
Yeah.
Bruja were the punchies back in the day. That was kind of their role.
Yeah, the glass cannons, right? They've got potent, celerity, and
I'm looking actually right now because I'm curious what their bane is. I can't remember.
And you would almost argue that
celerity, potence, presence
are also glass cannons in a case. You know, they
yeah.
can't really take much of a punch.
Celerity, potence, and presence is their 3.
I think that
they're not even
super glass cannons because everything they've got is being forward. They have no ability to avoid or mitigate damage. Like even obfuscate allows you to avoid damage, whereas they have nothing about that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about a fight and how like Cammy is just like a tank. She doesn't do damage even. She's just a tank.
Yep, she just can take it.
Like
yeah, their bane is a.
Like, she's good at talking, and if talking doesn't go her way, she can tank and like
talk to them while they're punching. You can't just be like, look, you'll get tired before this works.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, okay, well, at some point you're gonna want to just talk to me.
Yeah. She was totally the right move. Like, if she went up to those guys and the guy decided to give you a punch, you could probably just sit there, take the punch, and be like, are you done yet? And he'd be like, what the hell?
It was like the first time when Ali punched me. It was really great.
Hitting like a rock
The
wall.
funniest thing was because Saito went behind me and the whole chat like lost their shit. They're like, oh, because they didn't know. They didn't know that I'm like tanky.
That was in the Ivory Tower too, I think.
Dude, you hit me pretty hard.
Wasn't in the Ivory Tower. It was a hotel.
We were in a bathroom.
A bathroom of a hotel somewhere. Yeah.
It was a hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
The hotel bathroom.
Because Camille and Zach had just had sex upstairs.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Nobody knew how it was going to play out, and I thought that he was going to try to use his invisibility. So that's I kicked the water pipe and let it flood.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
You did like such a powerful punch too, and it hit me.
Yeah, now it would be a totally different story. I hope it doesn't ever come to that, but like now I got the boomsticks in the hand, so I can go right through that shit.
Yeah, that you do.
Yeah, literally, like Potence 5 is nothing matters. The only thing that matters is Fortitude 5.
Yeah, which is what I will be getting after this episode, because all I needed was one. I literally just need 1 XP.
I was kind of hoping that Isaac was just gonna be like, "What's your name again?" And she says it, and then he's like, "Cool," and then just turn around and sprinted right into me.
He's like a 13 or 14-year-old boy. He ain't that smart.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah,
he was pretty smart actually. That conversation, he was
very reasonable. That's what I was saying.
He was very street smart, knowing when to get away, trying to get away. But yeah, no, he ain't smart enough to try and like squeak knowledge out of somebody and run away with it or anything like that. He was too afraid. Again, you isolated him immediately, which took away a lot of his false bravado.
Gusto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the episode a whole lot.
I did
Good.
too, thinking.
Also, I can feed again now. I've been deliberately not feeding because I've been riding off my disgracia from remorse rolls till we finish this coterie off, because I was like, I want to have remorse stuff going on.
Just in case.
Just in case. And I got my crypt, which gave me +1 to remorse. I was like, okay, I might be okay. I kill kids, it's fine.
Yo,
You're on the Patreon.
Question. I've noticed that with the name of the loud ones, Camille is like with Jackson, like Ava stays away a lot, and Zach's pretty quiet about things, but the Ollie Dakota, not so sure about them. But I was thinking about it, and it's like, Ollie's not that fucking loud.
No,
Ollie's
which is why
rebellious.
on the way in, my description of Ollie was like, man, Ollie has actually been a great Nosferatu over the past 10 years. It's just a lingering reputation of your early formative years. But you have cause to venture, no problems. They don't like that you're there, but you're subtle, and the past decade has brought them no problems. Doesn't mean that they like you, and it doesn't mean that they don't hold your old reputation against you.
Also, your bar is in their territory.
No, exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna hold grudges against you.
They
for as long as they don't like you there
at all. And I know it's not your choice, but like, yeah.
Well, that's why I was originally thinking, like, if I just turn this caitiff over to Jackson right away, then I'll curry a little favor. And that was my thought. It's like, how do I get this guy off my ass so much? Because if I know if I can poke the head of the snake, the body will follow, at least to some degree.
Well, at the very least, Cammy was there on Jackson's behalf.
Yeah.
And Cammy technically fucked the coterie one time, but it was more because you wouldn't share information with her, so she took the captive. But beyond that, she's always...
That was pretty funny.
It was really funny, but she's always held up her word.
I love Dakota's different reaction to that from Zach. Dakota was like, "How dare she?" And Zach was like, "No, we fucked her. This is fair. She did an equal thing. I'm totally cool with this. In fact, I respect her."
Dakota like hates me.
Yeah,
Ollie doesn't even care, not even a little bit, because he's just so used to everybody using everybody to get ahead. When it came out, it's like, yeah, she used us to get ahead. It's like, okay, who isn't using us to get ahead at this point? Like, she was just upfront about it after it kind of came out.
See, the thing that I liked
was
that it was...
didn't know that was going to happen. It was as much a surprise to her as it was to you. And then when it did happen, she did thank you.
I liked the measured reply. Like, it was, you took the captive and killed him. Like, it wasn't a escalation. It was a deliberately measured, like, this is not too far to be me fucking you over too much. But it was look, this is, don't fuck with me.
On top of that, I wasn't there. I was away from all that the entire time. Yeah. That was either Miss Heloise or that was the revelation of my birthday and what happened to my father. I can't remember which of the two it was, but it was one of those two.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I think it's the first one.
It was pretty early.
Yeah. I also think that I really like the Ollie-Zach dynamic with Camille around, whereas with Dakota, you've got someone who often barks a bit more authority because she also now has the tie to higher authority.
Sure.
So Ollie and Zach both are somewhat subservient to Camille in the way that, like, obviously Zach's got a relationship and is subservient. Ollie has a bar in Ventry territory, and so has Camille to thank for keeping other Ventry in line, maybe, and understands the position now. So it's a really good dynamic of we both understand.
Offered to, help you bring more Ventry in, but you were like,
No, he's totally about it. He just wants them to come in and see that it's not that bad. It's just a bunch of regular dudes getting drunk, playing cards, and Kindred coming in, drinking wilder or more exotic versions of blood that are probably tainted with some kind of drug, and also playing cards and working politics. That's sort of what the bar is there for. It's to sort of mix the worlds together. But that's when people are like, "We're gonna make you a deal, but we're gonna station our boys in your bar." Like, no, you're not. You can come hang out, but you're not gonna station anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, when I was watching, I was like, why are they even making that offer? They can literally do that. They can literally be like, "Hey, you said people can be in here. I'm in here. Hi."
Yeah.
Well, I think it was more of like a highlight. I don't necessarily know if that particular Anarch was that smart, but it was more of like a highlight of what Ollie's become. Which I'm for. I like playing this Ollie. It's a lot better.
It's a different world.
Feel like an evil foot hanging out in the background in a black cloak.
I like playing this stack. It's a good city.
For now.
For now, yeah. For now.
True. And
we are still slowly unwrapping the present
Oh yeah, no, we're all fucked. I understand how these things
No,
work.
I'm not saying you're all fucked. I'm just saying the city might be. You might not be. We'll see.
I have enemy 3. I'm fucked.
I know you do. But the rest of the coterie doesn't have to. Well, they might have to deal with it in some fashion, but not.
I have a boon with Ollie and Dakota for a reason.
Also fair. Well, everybody, hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the Aftershow, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2
Bye.
weeks.